right, we're going to look at the Chapter 1 Heart Rate Excel. For a lot of you, this is the first Excel that you're seeing under Mymathlab. You did the one that was the sales order form, but you did it a different way. This one, you're going to download the Heart Rate Excel, and then you're going to complete the file. So you're going to download the file from Mymathlab, and then you're going to complete it. So at the bottom of this page, you'll see an instruction tab. So that explains to you what you need to do step by step, and it explains formatting, such as numbers with 1 decimal place. And then the second tab is questions, and it has the actual spreadsheet that you're going to complete. So you need to make sure that you're completing this sheet and do not create your own sheet for this one. So step 1 in the instructions says to download and open the workbook. Well, you've already done that if you're looking at this. Step 2 says in cell C11. So as we've learned, C is the column and 11 is the row. So C11 is this cell right here. I'm going to highlight it right below the 18. So they said in cell C11, use the appropriate formula to calculate the heart rate for the age in cell C10. Format cell C11 as a number with 1 decimal place. Okay, so here's our formula up here. They're telling us heart rate is equal to 220 minus age times 70%. So if I were to come down here, I'm going to do it right above this. I would want to say 220 minus 18 times 70%. So one of the nice things about Excel is that it understands percent. So you don't have to do anything special except just type 70%. Now here's how things are a little bit different. We don't want to do 18 because we want Excel to do the work for us. So once we get down to this bottom chart, you'll see a little bit better. We want to be able to type the formula one time and have Excel do all the work for us. So instead of this 18, we're going to replace the 18 with the cell location. The 18 is located in cell C10. So instead of typing 18, we're going to type 220 minus C10 times 70%. So what's going to happen is if I were to change the 18 to something else, it would replace that in the formula. So when we type formulas, we have to use the equal sign. So we're going to type equals, parentheses, 220 minus C10, close my parentheses, times 70%. And notice what happens as I get a number 141.4. So if I change this and I say instead of 18 years old, I'm only 16 years old. Oops. Sorry, my numlock wasn't on. If I change this to 16 years old, notice that it automatically changed the formula for me. Or if I'm 10 years old, it automatically changes it. I didn't have to redo the calculation. So I'm going to put it back at 18 just because that's what we started at. All right, so the next thing. Format cell C11 as a number with 1 decimal place. So I'm clicking on the 141.4, and up here is an option right here that says formatting as a number. So I'm going to change the general to a number. And notice how I got 2 decimal places here, but I want 1 decimal place. So right below the number, there's this button, which will increase my zeros, or my decimal places, and there's this button that will decrease, and I want 1 decimal place. Okay, so we're finished with step 2. Step 3 says, in cell C16, okay, so C16 is this cell right here. So now we're looking at this one. In cell C16, use the appropriate formula to calculate the heart rate for the age in B16 and fill it down. So the heart rate, the age is now over here in B16. So I'm still using this formula, but the age is located in B16. So I want to type 220 minus B16 times 70%. So that's going to take the value out of B, which is 10, and put it into the formula and create a formula. Now I want to type this here where it's yellow, right below the word heart rate, not above it. So I'm going to take this formula that I just wrote, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to put it right here. Oops, I typed something wrong. Hold on. Sorry, it should be B16 instead of 9. Exclamation point. Sorry, that should be a 1. Okay. All right, so I get a number. So again, go back to our instructions. Our instructions don't say anything about formatting, so I don't have to worry about formatting in a certain way. And then I want to copy this formula down. So notice how my cursor is currently a fat plus sign. And if I move my cursor to different places on the screen, my cursor will change. See how it's a thin plus sign, but it's got arrows on two sides? And over here, it's a thin plus sign, but it's got arrows up and down. And if I put my cursor right here on this little square next to the 7, it becomes a thin plus sign with no arrows. So the fat plus sign and the thin plus sign. So we want the thin plus sign, and we're going to click and drag down. I'm holding my mouse down as I do this. And that allows us to copy formulas. So notice what happened right here. I'm going to open up my formulas. So notice how it took B16 for the first one. B17 is the 20, put that in there. B18 is the 30, and I put that in there. So it took whatever value was over here in the age column and put it into the heart rate formula. Okay? All right, so we have completed step 3. Step 4 is saying in cells K18 to R33. So when they're talking about charts, there's always this shaded blue area. That's where we're going to put our chart. Okay, and this is the K18 through R33. We're going to insert a clustered column chart to show the relationship between heart rate and age. And then it says select range B16 to C25. Okay, B16 is right here where the 10 is. And C25 is where the 84 is. So to select, I want to highlight, I want to select all the cells. I want my fat plus sign, not my skinny plus sign. I'm going to put it right in the middle of the 10. I've clicked. And I'm going to click and hold and drag down and drag to the right. So now this area right here is highlighted or shaded. I'm going to go to the Insert button, Recommended Charts. This one is a clustered column. The one right below it is a clustered bar. The one right below that is a scatter, a line, a funnel. So this one asks for a clustered column. So we want the clustered column chart. So we're going to say OK. And now we're going to go back to our instructions and read the instructions. A clustered column chart to show the relationship. Highlight B16 to C25. On the Insert tab, Recommended Charts, then click Clustered Column. We did all that. Now I want to apply Style 6 to the design. Okay, so there are a couple ways to do this. Notice on my chart, my table, up here at the top in the menus, you see these options. And if I hover, the first one says Style 1, the next one says Style 2, Style 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to click on the paintbrush that's right next to this, and you can click and choose your styles here. Same thing as I hover 1, 2, 3, and I can pick Style 6 that way. Another way, up here on the top, you'll see somewhere there might be a quick layout, add elements, chart type. So if you go to chart, well, in my case, it's chart styles. There would be an option that says chart styles, and you want to pick the 6. So one of those ways we're going to do it. I'm going to choose it this way. That's 5 and it's 6. Okay, so we've got Style 6, clustered column chart. Let's go back to our instructions. It says, add a chart title above the chart and make it say heart rate. Well, we've already got a chart title, but if you didn't, you'd have to add it. And we're going to change it, so I'm just clicking on it. We're going to change it to heart rate. Okay. All right, now it says, add axis titles and replace the axis title for the horizontal with age and years and the vertical with beats per minute. So again, I'm going to click on this plus sign, and it lets me add axis titles right there. Or I can click on Add Chart Elements, and I can do it from over here. So it depends on how your screen is set up. So I'm going to add axis titles. Notice I've got a vertical title here and a horizontal title here. So I want to change my horizontal title to say, and I need to be exactly what they say on their directions, age, parentheses, years. Okay, and I want the vertical title to say beats per minute. Now, notice that mine is all capitalized. It doesn't care about that, but it does care about the spelling. So make sure that you spelled it right, and it'll mark it wrong. For example, if you put year instead of years. So be careful about that. All right, so let's read our instructions. So we've done the age. We've done the beats per minute. We want to look at the x-axis to make sure it says 10 through 20, and 10 through 100. And it does, so we're good. So we want to put that chart in this blue section here. So what I'm doing is I'm just clicking on the chart, and I'm making sure that the whole chart has tags around the outside, and I'm clicking on that and dragging it in. Okay, you want to make sure it's in the box as best you can. If that means I have to make my chart smaller, I need to do that, but make sure it's in the blue area. Okay? And that's it. So we've done all of our instructions. We followed all of our steps. So now you're going to save this file. When you save it, make sure you know where it's being saved. So I'm putting mine on my flash drive, and I'm putting it in my Chapter 1, and I'm putting it in my Excel files, and I'm going to save it there. So you need to make sure you know where it's saving. So if you have a folder on your desktop called Math 154, if you have a flash drive, you're going to put it on your flash drive, make sure you know where it's saved. So then our next step is to upload it to Excel, to Mymathlab. So we're going to do that. We're going to go into your Mymathlab. Here we are in Mymathlab. I need to back out of this for a second. and I'm going to go to Assignments. Now I've uploaded this a couple times, so it's going to look a little bit differently. I'm going to click on the heart rate assignment. In my case, I'm going to go to Improve Score, but you may go to something else. So you may be going in just directly to submit your score. I'm going to click on the Chapter 1 heart rate. This is the same way that you downloaded it, but I'm going to go to Choose File. So remember where I put it. I put it on my flash drive in Chapter 1 under Excel, and it was called the Parish Chapter 1 heart rate. So I'm going to upload that, and then I'm going to submit it for grading. I need to get this kudos. If I don't get this, if I get any kind of error, then you need to contact me and let me know you're getting errors or you're having problems. Once I've uploaded it, I can go either to Student Gradebook or Assignments and look at my grade. So if I go to Student Gradebook, here's my heart rate for my Excel, and you can look at that and see that I got a 10 out of 11 because I didn't watch the video. But you can also look at these, and when you review them, it will come up with a rubric, and it will tell you exactly where you lost points, right? So if any of these are red, I'll be able to click on them and see where my mistakes are. So here's an example for a future one that you'll see where I made mistakes. So here's a future problem. And when I review, you'll notice that I've got these red marks that tell me I missed this part. So if I click on the down arrow, it'll explain to me what I did wrong. The category wasn't set to currency. So if I don't set it to currency, I lose points. The formula wasn't correct. I did something wrong. I need to go back and check my work. So these are things that you can do in Mymathlab after you've submitted it to improve your scores. So make sure you check those and see how you're doing. So I hope this helps, and I hope you're having a great semester.